Good morning. I just arrived in very late night yesterday because we have a wonderful ceremony, graduation ceremony yesterday. So I must be there because the graduation who get the degree from the credit bank system. Credit bank system is one of most excellent systems at the higher educational level, acquiring degree, the credit accumulation from flexible learning strategies. And also, we offer some kind of systems getting bachelor's degree from self-paced learning. So that's why I couldn't participate yesterday. And I'm standing here to share a Korean experience of the flexible learning for the children who's coming from multicultural background families. When I heard at the first time the Asian Education Summit, the theme, flexible learning strategy, what we can share, how, why they asked a Korean case to be shared. I'm thinking 2 points. The first one, we have a very organized partnership among the family, school, and community with the multicultural background, the youth and family. And also, we have some voluntary system from formal learning systems. They want to share and engage for the children and youth from cultural background. And many of the children from the multicultural background family still living out of school. So from these 2 points, let me share our Korean experience. At least 30 years ago, the multicultural background is not a big issue in our countries. After Seoul Olympic in 1988, we raised the issues, the multicultural issues, because since 1990s, we just immigrate, labor immigrants from different countries, especially Asian Pacific regions. So at the government level, we needed to seriously discuss and establish the systems. How do they make fit the Korean culture and systems? We tried, made endeavors, different kind of try and errors. Then we found we made a big mistake because our paradigm focused on melting pot instead of a salad bowl. And the marriage immigration is a very big factor to make our paradigm change. So after year 2000, we really focused on the family from multicultural background. At the school, elementary and secondary level school systems, at the time, we didn't seriously consider how their children adapt our school systems. Everybody knows how Korean educational competition is serious. I'm thinking every time we just count the rank, number 1 or number 2. We had a world reputation. Some academics and non-academics practitioners they criticize the Korean educational, public educational systems until 1980s to be the same educational systems. They just mentioned the Korean public education systems like that. But it's not working anymore. The diversity is a hot issue and main paradigm of our educational systems. The foreign residents in our country is 3 to 4% of total populations. Among them, the school mainly they consisted of foreign workers, marriage immigrants, and non-Korean defectors. I don't want to mention this part because North Korean defectors, they just stayed refugees in Asian Pacific regions or some China, and then they came to Korea. So even they didn't have the language problem, the Korean, but it still have some issues, so I don't want to include this part. And mainly, I mentioned the marriage immigrants and their children at the school level. We have a continual increase the number of multicultural students. Mainly, we just call the multicultural students in our school systems 3 different client characteristics. The first part is pure. We just call it pure multicultural students. They just come to move in because of their parents of the business. That's the first part. The second part, the multicultural, the children is the marriage immigration. And the third part is from the North Korea or some minority, the Korean heritage in the China. Let me show the graph here, how multicultural students in each school level rapidly increase. You can see at the elementary level is a big increment here. After 5 or 10 years later, the middle school or high school level will be rapidly increased. We can expect. And here is the primary and secondary education. The out of school, the children and youth, the number is 280,000. I'm just thinking in the Asian Education Summit, just to quote the worldwide the data out of school children's. In worldwide is 59 millions, and Asian Pacific region is 19 millions. But in our country, we just count from the Minister of Education 280,000 children out of school. Then number can make us consider who's just named out of school children. In our country, the data showed some children who are employed and who are in child welfare facilities, and who are in GED preparation. They just pick some alternative school or homeschool or self-paced learning instead of staying or containing in a classroom. But let me seriously share the number data. Still, 170,000 students unknown, unrecognized. Where are they staying and what are they doing now? I'm just raising the questions. the worldwide or Asian Pacific region data showed out-of-school children. How can we count it? We have big social problems. Why we must count the number of students or out-of-school children? If the student disappear one day, nobody knows. Cannot be killed or kidnapped, nobody knows. So the out-of-school, the children must be connected. The welfare systems and safety systems and human rights, the systems. So it's not simple. So I'm just thinking, in Asian Education Summit, instead of a worldwide the institute or organization, we must consider how and why we count out-of-school children and how to connect and make a partnership the other part of issues for the people's life as a dignified human being. This is the our advertising, the 3-minute broadcasting. Make the people persuade. We must understand foreign cultures and multiculturalism for within Korean culture and among the different cultures. What's wrong? We just made last year a broadcasting the nationally. The people share to understand each other, different cultures. I know they check the audio morning, this morning. That's the technology. Okay, take a break. It's a gift for you. I just took a lesson, the two speakers previous me. I get a lot of information and inspiration how we take an attention.
생각을 안 해봤어요.
딱히 뭐 생각해 본 적 없는 것 같아요. 그냥 뭐 외국인?
직접적인 경험이 없다 보니까 고정관념이라든지 혹은 또 편견에 의해서 피부 색깔이 다른 사람에 대한 피상적으로 느끼는 어떤 부정적인 시선이 수용성을 낮추는 그러한 문제의 지점들로 파악하고 있습니다.
우리가 다른 문화 혹은 다른 언어, 다른 생각, 다름에 대한 부분을 서로 충분히 인정을 하면서 그것이 다르기 때문에 아름답다는 이 부분을 인정을 하면서 서로 더불어 살 수 있는 그 마음 자세로 의식을 서로 간에 교류하고 소통하는 이런 것이 가장 중요한 것이라고 생각합니다. The reason we make this kind of advertising the film, we made the 4 different parts and broadcasting at the national levels during 1 month because, as you know, the survey at the national level, how do you think about coexistence, different culture in Korean society? Only 1/3 of people understanding and agree to coexist with different cultures. It takes a long time. 1/3 is a small number of that we expected, but it takes more than 30 years in our society. Now, our society, we just open our eyes and heart to live together with the culture, the people from different countries. So at the national level, we just make the systems to people gather and connect at the elementary school level to the university level, how the students from different countries and different cultures make harmony and make flexible learning strategy for them in their own way. So different policy from different ministers set it the national policy systems until the 1990s. Just we have Immigration Control Act. So we just resist the issue, the nationality, or being a Korean people from the different residential the place. But between 1991 and 1995, we have the technical training program from the foreign countries, and we give permission 1 year and 2 years and at most 3 years to stay our country for the training. Since that time, in our society, we challenged some problems. After 3 years later, they didn't want to come back. They didn't want to return their own country. Because at the time, we have a rapid economic development, and our payment is 3 times. And compared to some Asian Pacific countries, more than 10 times wage working in our countries. So it can be raised legal issues. Today must be come out from the Korean society or make them to pick, to choose, stay here as a migrant workers. So, especially the NGO and some charity organization and church, some religious organizations took care of the migrant workers. And they teach the language and Korean cultures. It's not a national level or policy level, only as a charitable activity at the community. So since that time, we just, at the national level, raise the issues how to make them together, live together in Korean societies. And multicultural policies at the national level started from year 2008. Especially the economic crisis, diversity raised the hot issue connected with the world economic crisis because within our country, some professional workers left our countries and being migrant worker in foreign countries. It makes us to change the position and status previous that time. At the Ministry of Educational level, the multicultural the policy for different scope and contents. And also, we have some programs make the children, the Korean heritage, how they understand and share to different cultures within the school, not simply at the family level or community levels. So we have 4 different parts, the multicultural family support and multicultural understanding and living convenience for resident alliance and the foreigners' human rights. So different part of ministry at the national level involved those 4 different scopes. In our organization, National Institute for Lifelong Education, under the supervised the Ministry of Education, we have a National Center for Multicultural Education. The Ministry of Justice and Ministry of Gender Equality and Family, Ministry of Welfare, and Ministry of Interior, different part of ministry closely connected only issues of multicultural background children. More specifically, it's not easy to make a partnership and connected systems among different ministers, but we have a committee at the ministry level to discuss and set the multicultural family issues. The National Center for Multicultural Education in our Nile, we supporting the operation of various model schools and fostering professional development. previous me, the speakers from the United States, she mentioned the 6 different strategies. As among the 6, one is leadership and professional development. In our multicultural center, we did those 2 jobs. For the leadership development and professional development, every year we have a big training, the programs, and also we have some guideline to disseminate at the primary and secondary school levels. So the basic directions of our educational multicultural policy support their learning and language deficiencies for their life convenience. We really focused on their living and earning and gathering at the community level and national levels. So based on those directions, we have 3 different main features. But we focused on how can we establish the leading model at school. It's not easy because at the school level, we already studied the curriculum, how we can put the multicultural issues at the fixed curriculum. So mainly, we just treat in a classroom at the level of school, how can they understand and make activity multicultural level as an extra curriculum activity. That's why we connected the multicultural education to the formal educational system voluntarily. Mainly from the university level, the college students make their own group to volunteer at the primary and secondary level for multicultural background family children's. And the multidimensional approaching to understand the multiculturalism and multicultural education, we just link families, schools, and community. It started from the national level at the policy, but at this time, local government very eagerly engaged multicultural activity and support. It is not simply for educational activity and educational opportunity. It's closely connected to their health, their earning, and their activity with their neighbors. So this is our learning goal of the multicultural education at the community level. How to coordinate our multicultural education, the policy and the programs. It's very different kind of strategy depending on the level and who is the stakeholders and shareholders who are involved those activities. We have various kind of strategy and policies. But in our educational, Ministry of Educational levels, we support the centers, multicultural education program support, and also the multicultural priority schools and leadership training for teachers. It really depends on how the teacher treat their students at the school levels. For example, sometimes some teacher just call the children from multicultural background family, just call them, hey, students, multicultural family students. They just use those kind of name instead of their own name, like John and Phillips. They just call it. So it means the students a kind of a stigma. It's not a little tiny simple. The students just compass me. It makes them hesitate to go to the school and attending the classroom. So how they change the teacher's consciousness and awareness. It is one of hard task for us. That's why we have a regular training program for the teacher, changing their attitude and their consciousness toward multiculturalism and their students. And we establish the We Center. We Center means We Center. In We Center, they supported financially from the national government and also local government levels. The students after class, or sometimes students, they really want to drop out the school, we support some kind of learning program at the We Center for the children. And also the establishing a leading model is those kind of programs. And distribution of educational material is one of our successful story. The teachers make their own learning group or sometimes learning organizations like knowledge management systems. They use the material for multicultural education and they share each other. And the multicultural kindergarten is another project at the national level really focused on. Because in the United States, the project No Child Behind the Left. It's a little bit similar program, and we focused to invest our tax money to make the children at the infant or early childhood level, make them interest the learning and thinking their own way. For the children who are out of school, we just think about why they left the school, why they don't want to stay at the classroom. Then we can get several answers. Some children, they have some problem to gather or to stay, make a relationship with different children because we have a deep root to be the same at the appearance and language and culture and eating habit. So the children cannot gather those kind of things not to be the same. They really want to avoid attend the school. And also sometimes from their family background or family problems, they can have some problems. Stay in a classroom. We have some alternative school systems and homeschooling systems. And how can we prevent those children out of school? They just don't want to stay at school. I'm just thinking, finally, I want to raise the questions by myself and share with you why we just call them out of school children. Just think about why we just call it out of school. Do we assume unconsciously the children must stay at school and contained in a classroom? It doesn't matter. We can aware or not. We just emphasized the children must be stay the school. Why don't we have some solution from the flexible learning strategy? The boy, I just stayed here. I cannot avoid his eye contact. He directly looked my eye, and he want to say something. He really want to say his wish. I'm just thinking, his wish is, why do you give another different alternative for us? Flexible learning strategy. Thank you.